If you follow the strategies here, you will be able to defeat Cliff. So this is actually going to apply, really we're going to talk about those principles, I guess, that apply to any of the Team Go Rocket fights. So this will be no matter what he gets in the future, but essentially you want to address the fight based on the typing of the fast attack usually that the opponent is throwing at you. And so this is with the Team Go Rocket fights you got to think about, especially like a hyper example would be Giovanni's Persian. A lot of people that struggle with Team Go Rocket kind of get caught up in the Persian. So like if it's using feint attack, that's a dark type attack, you can resist that easy with fighting, and Persian is weak to fighting, right? So it's kind of an easy matchup. But then there's people who don't know better yet, and they go up against Scratch, for example, and Persian is normal type, Scratch is a normal type, it's going to get same type attack bonus, but also Scratch is just by nature, it's going to be a lot faster, and your Pokemon aren't going to resist it unless you actually make it a point to resist it by typing, right? So the good news is that Cliff's Larvitar, like very largely you don't actually, at least by comparison to the Persian, you don't actually have to consider this aspect as much, but it still helps with a move like this. Well, his Larvitar is just fainting now, but it had Rock Smash, that's a fighting type attack, and so Mantine has part flying in its typing, right? So this is where the key comes in, because also Cliff in the second spot, he can have a Kingdra, so yeah, sure, like Mantine, it resists. I should say it was also good because it dealt super effective damage. Going up against our Larvitar, that's going to be the other aspect, but something that we can demonstrate with Mantine going into this fight is that we're also addressing this Cliff fight specifically based on the fact that he's got Sceptile coming in here on this middle spot, and so we know that our Mantine right now is equipped also with Ice Beam, and that's going to be super effective against the Sceptile, so it kind of lets the first Pokemon that we chose, which is Mantine, bleed over into the second fight, which is always good, right? Like that's always just going to give us some extra hits and things. It's kind of like a bonus, right? Because Cliff is down one, we still have all three of our Pokemon. So what I was going to say about like the Kingdra, or maybe if Persian, if it's just hitting you with that Scratch attack, if something's hitting you like just so fast, you can't even imagine, like, think about Pokemon that have Bite, like you look at Tyranitar with Bite, you look at when Cliff had the Aerodactyl in the past, it's stuff like that. I think this Tyranitar right here actually has Bite, you can see, yeah, because it's dealing super effective actually too. Well, our Chandelure actually was set up to go against the Sceptile. It didn't really get to see actually all that much action against the Sceptile. This is moving too quickly for me to explain everything, but yeah, the key there, especially against something like this, here's Tyranitar for example, it's using Bite, anything that's hitting you really fast like Cliff's Kingdra, you want a spammy fast move and charge move combination, so your fast attack should generate enough energy per hit while you also have a move like this. So Scrafty, it's got Power Up Punch right here, but when you combine that with the fast attack of Counter, you don't have to do that many hits for Power Up Punch to have its energy generated all the way up, right? It didn't do a whole lot of damage, that's not the point. First of all, Power Up Punch is also more so for the buff, like you're gonna get an attack boost from that move, it's guaranteed up to 4 times, so you see they actually do increasingly more damage every single time to this Tyranitar, but it's also about shutting down the Team Go Rocket Pokemon, especially if they're just attacking you so fast, because their Pokemon actually stand still. They have like a stun time or stagnation period. It's every single time that you use a charge move or every single time they use a charge attack. So if you go back and play any of these videos or just see it in your fights, they will stand still for just over 2 seconds. So that's time that you should be just generating some more energy, overcharge it to kind of overgenerate that energy, and then use your charge move, basically right when they're about to attack you. And essentially you can start creating chains where they just won't even hit you if you have a spammy enough move combination. I think of things like Galarian Stunfisk with Mud Shot when you pair it with Muddy Water. So let's just bullet point those strategies here in like 10 seconds. Boom, boom, boom. Use type strengths and resistances. Take advantage of stun time or stagnation time after every charge move or every fainting or switching. And if you're struggling, really try to get spammy fast attack and charge attack combinations. Get those working together and you'll win. Thanks for viewing.